News broke that she just got traded to the Chicago Sky. Right here for first round pick next year, but still a first round pick, question mark? Okay. I don't see that, but here we go. We all remember what happened between Clark and Sheldon last year. And of course, Marina Mabrey got involved in that, and that became a massive fiasco. So now,
WNBA news has been moving fast, and several developments dropped in close succession that are reshaping the landscape heading into the new season. On the trade front, Jacy Sheldon is headed to the Chicago Sky in exchange for a first-round pick. The move carries extra weight given the history between Sheldon and Caitlin Clark from last season, a rivalry that drew significant attention and brought Marina Mabrey into the mix before it was all over.
Massive fiasco. So now, the Sky Games, got a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spicy, if you will. What also sucks is Azurá Stevens not going to the Fever, also going to the Chicago Sky. Sources tell ESPN she averaged 12.8 points a game, is an alum of the Chicago Sky, won a championship there, guys, in 2021.
With Angel Reese already shipped out to Atlanta, many assumed the Sky's games against the Fever would lose some of their edge. Sheldon's arrival in Chicago suggests otherwise. Those matchups just got a lot more charged.
I won a championship there, guys, in 2021. Now, the one everybody's been waiting on. Well, there's been three that everybody's waiting on. Lexie Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham. We got two of the three in the bag. Alexa Philippou, Hull is signing a multi-year deal to return to the Indiana Fever, I'm told. She was
also landing with the Chicago Sky is Azurá Stevens, who will not be heading to Indiana as some had speculated. Stevens averaged 12.8 points per game and brings championship pedigree to the organization. She was part of the Sky's title-winning squad back in 2021. Over in Indianapolis, the Fever locked down two of the three most closely watched free agent situations,
I'm told. She was a popular free agent who weighed several options but opted to return to Indiana and keep their young core together. Guess what? Enter in Caitlin Clark.
A friend to tell a friend. She's back. A friend to tell a friend.
She's back. She's back. It makes all the sense in the world to bring.
Lexie Hull is returning on a multi-year deal. According to ESPN's Alexa Philippou, Hull was one of the more popular names available in the free agent market and fielded genuine interest from multiple teams before choosing to come back. The decision keeps Indiana's young core intact, which matters considerably when the centerpiece of that group is Caitlin Clark.
It makes all the sense in the world to bring back Caitlin Clark's running mates. It just does. You want the best player in the league to have the most solid locker room possible. Take note, don't re-sign Brianna Turner, for Christ's sakes, or make some crazy signing like that. No DeWanna Bonners this year. How about that? And of course, this was the other one, Kelsey Mitchell.
Surrounding the best player in the league with familiar, trusted teammates is not just a comfort decision, it is a competitive one. The second piece is Kelsey Mitchell, who is finalizing a one-year Supermax agreement worth $1.4 million to remain with the Fever. Mitchell turned in the best season of her career last year, making the Supermax designation a fitting reward and a strong signal of how the organization views her role going forward.
This was the other one. Kelsey Mitchell is finalizing a $1.4 million Supermax one-year agreement to return to the Indiana Fever. And of course, she had a career year last year. So, it should be noted that Lexie Hull deal, in case you did not see what I said a second ago, it is a multi-year deal. All right, so that's pretty good. Got her back. We got to think I believe they cannot
With Clark, Mitchell, and Hull all locked in, the core of this roster is set. The window being discussed around this group is not a future projection, it is right now. Clark's own Supermax extension is on the horizon, which means the current configuration of this team represents the clearest and most immediate path toward a championship run.
I believe they cannot core Kelsey Mitchell again. Okay. This is it. I think for the big three, because you've got Caitlin's Supermax that's coming up. This is the run. You got to empty the guns right here, right now. This is your run to a new or a title, a Indiana Fever title, the latest title.
The expectation is that Clark pushes her game to another level this season, with some projecting her assist numbers to break new ground if the system around her allows for that kind of freedom with the ball. The one major name still unresolved is Sophie Cunningham, whose situation remains open as the rest of the roster falls into place. The Indiana Fever appear to be closing in on a signing that would hand them the best backup point guard in the entire league, and it came together quietly, with almost nobody noticing until the clues were already out in the open.
The latest title. This is the chance to put a ring on Clark's finger right here, right now, where she can make a run, win the MVP, all of it. I think she's going to average over 10 assists a game. I do. I think she's going to break records when it comes to distributing the ball, if Stephanie White allows her to do that. We will see. Now, we all wait on Sophie.
Ty Harris has been working out in what appears to be an Indiana facility, with social media posts from her father and others hinting strongly at an imminent deal. References to feeling feverish, posts calling for her to join the team, and confirmation that she had been training in front of special guests all pointed in the same direction before the news officially broke. The trail was there for days before anyone connected the dots.
Is actually a huge one. So basically, Ty Harris, people were calling her injury prone. It's one of those things where it's like, if people don't know you, you're injury prone. Because I remember I've seen people like, oh, Fever needed to get rid of Temmie. Temmie's injury prone. Temmie's, until other than the season that Temmie played with the Fever, Temmie hasn't been injured in her life. We're like, oh, she missed this amount of games last year. It's like, yeah, she went to Eurobasket. But if you don't know about Ty Harris,
the case for Harris is straightforward once her full track record is considered rather than just her most recent season. Last year's numbers were poor 4 points per game in limited action, but they came in the wake of surgery that cost her most of the year. The season before that tells a different story. 10.5 points per game, 40% shooting from three, low turnovers, and a skill set that makes her one of the more underrated guards in the league.
but if you don't know about Ty Harris, look, you ignore last year's stats with Ty Harris. They weren't good. Let's not get it twisted. She played 16 minutes a game for Dallas, started the year injured, got injured after 5 games. Look, it wasn't great, but look at what Ty Harris did the year before. 10.5 points per game, 40% from three. And she is a low turnover, good.
She is the kind of player who does not need the ball to be effective, runs the floor intelligently, defends, and spaces the floor. The Mario Chalmers comparison, a reliable, low-maintenance backup who makes life easier for the primary creators, is apt. What makes the fit particularly compelling is the connection to Fever head coach Stephanie White.
She is a low turnover, good shooter, good off-ball point guard. She is what I've said, where it's like the Mario Chalmers type point guard. I'm not going to lie. I just didn't think Ty Harris was going to be available. But teams don't have money to spend on guards. I'm looking through all the teams and I'm looking through cap space and stuff. The odds of getting Ty Harris is like legitimately it's one of those things. But again, Ty Harris back in the lab show.
Harris had the best stretch of her career playing under White, and that familiarity removes a significant chunk of the adjustment period that normally comes with a new roster. She also showed real chemistry with Paige Buchers during the brief window they shared the floor together last season. which suggests she has the passing instincts to thrive alongside another high-usage primary ball handler, exactly what playing next to Caitlin Clark will require. The injury concern that gets attached to her name does not hold up to much scrutiny.
Casing in front of some special guests, feeling feverish, WNBA free agency. At Ty Harris, she ain't sick, but definitely might have a fever. I think she's from Indiana. She played, her best season was playing for Steph White. Like her best season was playing as a starter for Steph White. And she's not a starter, but she's not bad. Like she's not bad. Like she's really not bad. Like Ty Harris.
By her own account, she has dealt with 2 injuries over a 6-year span, a rolled ankle that resolved in days, and the surgery that affected last season. That is not an injury-prone player. It is a player who had one significant setback and is now being priced accordingly.
Harris. Like, I'm not mad at this. Man, Ty Harris will be, she'll be the best backup. Like, this is, I don't care. Forget about Ari. Forget about anyone. This is a level above. This is a level above Ari. This is a level above Odyssey Sims. This is a level above, 7 levels above Coulson. This is a player that can start.
And that pricing is where the real value of this signing lies. Harris is 27 years old, operating at or near her peak, and coming off a season where her box score numbers were suppressed entirely by circumstance. In a market that has not been flush with cap space for guards, the Fever appear positioned to land her close to the veteran minimum somewhere under $650K, possibly significantly less.
Start, if Caitlin, like you hope Caitlin doesn't ever get injured. Played for Steph as well. This one too sounds, I don't know who this 497 person is, but if this happens, I reference Everett Fever, obviously an article I wrote about because I 100% nailed to the wall. Man, I didn't think we were going to be able to afford her. And I hate saying this, she's a better basketball player than Lexie Hull. Like, I love Lexie. I love Lexie Hull.
For a player of her caliber, that represents exceptional value. If the deal comes together at or below that figure, Indiana will have acquired arguably the top backup guard in the league at a price that barely dents their cap situation. She is also a better all-around basketball player than Lexie Hull, which is worth acknowledging plainly.
I love Lexie Hull. Genuinely, she is a better basketball player than Lexie. So this is proud dad, Ty Harris. Okay, so is this Ty Harris's dad? Ty Harris's father. On April 9th. How did nobody see this? She ain't sick but have a fever. Like, how did nobody see this up to this point?
That is not a knock on Hull, it is simply a recognition that Harris brings a different and higher level of skill to a guard spot. More importantly, she is good enough that if Clark were to miss time for any reason, Harris could step into a larger role without the team falling apart. The front office deserves credit for pulling this one off.
How did nobody see this up to this point? Ty Harris back in the lab in front of some special guests feeling feverish. Like, how did nobody notice this? This was yesterday. Like, it does sound like, and again, if you're looking at these posts right here, by the way, I've been hurt twice in 6 years, a rolled ankle, sat out for 4 days, and it was in the playoffs 2024, and my surgery beginning of last season. You look good to me yesterday. Posting. Ty Harris is needing Indy.
It is the kind of signing that does not generate massive headlines, but quietly improves the roster in a meaningful way. A near minimum deal for a 40% three-point shooter with defensive competence and proven experience thriving under the current coaching staff is exactly the type of move a contending team needs to make around its stars.